One with no faith, who directly knows the unmade nirvana, who has cut the ties of samsara, who has ended cravings for the opportunities of rebirth. Truly such a human becomes the Supreme Being. Welcome to the channel, Good Buddhism. I'm Dushain. In our last discussions, we talked about what Buddhism is really about, as well as the various characteristics of Buddhism as a religion. Those discussions illuminate a profound respect for human potential and the inherent dignity of human beings. In short, Buddha's teachings and Buddhism place a strong faith in humanity regardless of race, sex, gender, or class. Now, the questions are, what exactly does it mean for Buddhism to put its strong faith in humanity? How do Buddhist teachings encourage each of us to realize our potential? These are the topics we will explore together today. We can agree that how we perceive ourselves significantly affects and shapes the way we lead our lives. Religion, philosophy, and even science each offers perspectives to help us understand ourselves as human beings. Religion in particular explains human nature and potential through its doctrine centered on the ultimate object of faith. Every religion revolves around a central object that is seen as ultimate and sacred. Religion traces back to a human experience of the ultimate state or object, which is described as inexpressible beyond words and thought. For most people, ultimate religious truths are accepted through faith and belief. This is why religion is fundamentally based on faith. Likewise, Buddhism traces back to the experience of the ultimate, the Buddha's attainment of supreme enlightenment. Enlightenment simply means knowing ultimate truth for overcoming suffering. Accordingly, the enlightened state and enlightened beings become central objects of faith in Buddhism. It can be said that becoming a Buddha through enlightenment means fulfilling humanity or reaching the mind's full capacity. As we previously discussed, Buddhism is about the human mind realizing ultimate truth for overcoming suffering through right practice, grounded in faith in humanity. In its search to resolve human suffering and find true happiness, Siddhartha Gautama sought the true solution within the human mind, its potential, and humanity itself. With dignity, he did not seek the help of any external being for salvation. Instead, Siddhartha Gautama placed all his faith in himself and in the potential of humanity. Ultimately, he became the Buddha by fulfilling humanity through discovering the right practice to reach enlightenment. So, to the Buddha, it was not a matter of faith, but undeniable truth that humanity and the human mind had the greatest potential. This was because his enlightened mind directly knew truth. So he shared his teaching of ultimate truth, the Dharma, so that other people could follow his example. Over time, many people have attained enlightenment and directly experienced ultimate truth that leads to true happiness. These individuals have become the Sangha, the noble community of Buddhism. The Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, known as the three jewels, are the primary objects of Buddhist faith. Placing faith in the three jewels means having deep faith in one's own capacity. It also means affirming the same potential in all beings. In this way, the three jewels are not only objects of reverence, but also guides to realizing the great potential within each individual. This is how Buddhism perceives humans and human nature. Buddhism offers a unique and empowering perspective for achieving happiness for oneself and for all others. One thing to keep in mind is that Buddhism does not place value solely on humanity among the many species and forms of beings. Buddhism values all sentient beings equally. However, Buddhism has been facing challenges from doubt and skepticism among those who devalue humanity's potential. People doubt that humans can truly overcome suffering through their own power and strength. Instead, they believe we are inherently limited, and so they look to a divine force for remedy and salvation from suffering, misfortune, and personal imperfections. To them, the idea that humans can reach enlightenment seems like an illusion. It feels impossible for them to imagine the state where the mind directly and fully understands ultimate truth rising above all suffering. Many people tend to see imperfection and flaws as a faithful, undeniable part of being human. Such a disbelief in and mistrust of human nature are widespread and seem understandable given our constant experience of suffering. This mindset of mistrust resembles a kind of learned helplessness, where people lose hope in themselves after enduring repeated suffering. With this outlook, it becomes almost natural for those feeling helpless to wait passively, placing their faith in an external force to save them. In contrast, Buddhism asserts that humanity is far from hopeless. Buddhism teaches that humanity is stronger than it might appear and can overcome its own suffering for salvation. By putting strong faith in humanity, Buddhism stands firmly on the principle that if one cannot save oneself from suffering, then no one else can. When raising children, parents often encourage them with the saying, "Practice makes perfect." They want their children to believe in their potential and hidden capacity to fully bloom and thrive in life. Parents know that if their children lose faith in themselves, they may give up on the effort needed to achieve their goals. This is because parents well understand that how one perceives oneself significantly shapes one's life. In the same way, Buddhism offers a positive and empowering view of human nature. Buddhism encourages us to believe in the greatness of humanity, even though our current minds are muddy and imperfect, causing us to experience constant suffering. By putting strong faith in humanity, Buddhism raises the hope that true happiness through enlightenment, like a rainbow on the horizon, is real and achievable. Buddhism assures us that we can overcome our own issues, problems, and all forms of suffering through our continual practice on the right path. Unfortunately, Buddhism is often misunderstood as a pessimistic or even nihilistic religion due to misrepresentations of its teachings. But in reality, Buddhism is quite the opposite. It is so optimistic about humanity that some people find it hard to believe in its hopeful message. Rather than being pessimistic or nihilistic, Buddhism holds a surprisingly positive view of human nature by placing its strong faith in humanity. This perspective guides us to have faith in our capacity to make true happiness. Thus, today we have discussed faith in humanity in Buddhism. Buddhism places its faith in humanity so that Buddhist people believe that they can rise above suffering through their own capacity, effort, and strength by developing their minds. Faith in humanity guides us towards a life free from suffering. This faith may sound ideal, yet it provides a practical path for transforming ourselves and the world. In this way, it contributes to the well-being of all beings. Thank you for watching. I was Dushine. See you next time.